Hey guys, and welcome to Will Squared. I'm Will Senior,
And I'm Will Jr.
and today we're going to be talking about baseball. We've already talked about football. We've talked about college football. We still got to talk about soccer, which we'll talk about probably tomorrow or early next week, because there's a lot of things happening with the Champions League, as well as the Premier, as the leagues are going to restart again. And so there's a lot to talk about there. But today we're going to talk about our other favorite pastime sport, which is baseball. And there was a lot of things going on this past week. Everything just kind of started snowballing once a free agent decided where he was going to spend the next 15 years of his life. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, let's introduce again Gabe, who's joined us many times before, from Austin, Texas. Big Yankee fan. We kind of do a little trip to Yankee Stadium once a year in September to
Hey.
watch some good games that we picked up last year, which was really nice. And then we also want to introduce Davis from Chattanooga, who also joined us yesterday for college football. I'm really interested to see what he has to say about baseball. So, guys, you guys want to say anything before we get started?
Cheers.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that right now. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Goodness sakes. You know what? Let's do something that we said we were going to do yesterday and we didn't do it. Before we jump into baseball, I want to talk to Davis about Belichick and being hired in North Carolina, because we did say we were going to talk about that and we never did. Davis, this is your opportunity to tell us how you feel about it and what you expect.
I'm honored. Well, first, like when I heard the rumors and rumblings, I didn't think it'd be a match like Belichick in college. I mean, he's already a grouch. Or, okay, at least he was with the Patriots and stuff. I know he's been like this new person in the media, but it's like, I mean, like he's just as old as Mac Brown, and his buddies Nick Saban, who quit or retired because of all this NIL and transfer portal stuff. But now just coming around to it, especially like what Belichick said on the McAfee show like earlier this week, just the fact that like like he'll change, like if he got the opportunity, like he'll have like this whole nutrition program. Like he has the connections in the NFL, like so he can get players that are good enough like through that pipeline. So I was just like, I mean, can't get any worse at North Carolina football. Like no one really knows outside of old people who know like Lawrence Taylor and like Julius Peppers. No one else, probably Jurek McNow. No one else knows any type of North Carolina football player. So at least like it's relevance. It's Belichick. People are comparing him to Dean Smith, which I mean, I guess I know they're both legends, but like it's still apples to oranges. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I am excited. Like you already got a GM, so like at least Carolina football is more modern now with the times that we're living. I wish North Carolina basketball is modern, but that's a whole different topic. But I think it'll be good to bring the relevance, and at least he can contend for an ACC championship. And then, as we previously stated before, if you win your conference, you get into the playoffs. So who knows from there?
Yeah, but so a couple of questions that I had yesterday when we were talking about this was, he's an old man, number one, and you kind of touched on it that he's a grouch, and we know that. His coaching style is very old fashioned compared to new coaching styles from the new coaches, the younger coaches, and the fact that it's not going to be a 1 year project. Do you really think he has the energy to really focus on turning this program around, which could take potentially 2 to 3 years?
In theory, yes. I
Okay.
saw reports that it was a 3 year, $30 million deal, but then I also saw like it's a 5 year deal. So it's okay, so I don't know which one is it type thing. And then there's just rumors and rumblings now. Like the only thing like I know for sure is like he hired a GM, Mike Lombardi, who like worked with him with the Patriots and the Raiders as well, type thing. So there's that, like there's talks that like he wants to bring his son on as the DC, and like his son will be the coach in waiting, which is a whole nepotism thing, but which is fine. Again, it's relevance. And but there's also rumors of like him bringing Saban in. It's like, okay, that'd be great, but like I don't know what he would do honestly. But like I would say and think that like Belichick would be more of a CEO type thing, and not like what he was doing like with the Patriots. How he was like, as what Parcell says, like you're cooking the food and you're making it as well since he was the de facto GM for the Patriots.
Right.
I feel like Belichick is like he's doing just the game stuff. Like yes, he'll handle player personnel like a little bit, but I feel like it's more like adjusting in games and not even necessarily like calling plays. It's just like a lot of the strategy. Like that's like just being in the trenches. Like that's kind of stuff I could see him excelling with. But dealing with the kids and like NIL offerings and all that stuff, I don't think he's really into that. It's more just like the coaching. But I feel like he's going to have like a good enough staff that can understand and do all that. And again, just bring relevance to North Carolina football, which relevance is just being even 9 to 10 wins would be great. Everyone would lose their minds, including me.
All right, awesome. William and Gabe, do you want to add anything?
Me first. You go.
I mean, only thing I'm gonna say is, I was just hoping this guy would have stayed away in general because he seemed kind of like an asshole, and it did. I think the reason why he didn't get picked up by any NFL teams is because he had such a long like laundry list of demands. Like I think I saw he had like a 400-page like book that he wrote with all the demands for UNC, and it's just. No wonder he didn't get picked up by any NFL team because no one wants to deal with him. And it's like, doesn't matter how great of a coach you are when you try to do a little too much like that. I mean, you're not going to have a job. So yeah. I don't know. I am surprised that he's going to be in college instead of NFL. So I'm interested to see how he handles it differently. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I have to think about it currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that this is real. Coach Belichick is coaching in college, and I just wonder if his girlfriend is a student like there actually.
Younger than me, by the way.
Wait, are you guys serious?
Yeah, like she
5, I think. Yeah.
25. Yeah. Like he's living, man. Like he's living. Like fair play, honestly.
Bro, hey,
honestly, fair play.
Don't hate the game.
Right.
Don't hate the game.
Is his girlfriend like a student there though? Like honestly, who knows?
Probably the most shocking thing to me is the fact like I thought he really wanted to beat Don Shula's all-time wins, especially.
Well, he did. He wants to, but I don't think no one wants to hire him.
Probably not going to.
Yeah.
He's down to 15, I think.
Something like that. So like, especially after like I can't remember if it was Spygate or Deflategate, like whichever one like Don Shula like called him out for. So I thought like Belichick would like this would have been like his FU, like I have more wins than you type thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured like he just would have like held on because I mean who knows like what NFL jobs like would have been opening up like within the next month actually. So that's probably like the most shocking thing because I thought he really wanted especially since he's a historian, like he really wanted that record. But it's okay. Come to Chapel Hill. Ain't nothing finer.
So just a quick question: is his contract guaranteed?
Probably.
I'm wondering because I'm thinking if he gets tired of it, he just quits after the first year, and he's still, he picks up all that money. I'm not saying that he will, but that gives him a little opportunity, an out, if you will.
I haven't looked into the details, but like for the most part, like it's a buyout for college coaches. So like, especially it's like $30 million, it's chump change for boosters.
Right.
But, well, I mean, I say that, but UNC boosters are pretty cheap. They act like they live paycheck to paycheck. So, and since 3 to 5 years, I mean, they didn't buy out Mac Brown, and he was making less than that. So, which they hated towards all this year. So I feel like if things would have to get really bad for them to even attempt or even rumor about buying out $30 million from Belichick.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, we covered that. I apologize that we didn't talk about that yesterday. We did say we were, and bam, we closed the show down and never touched base. So there you go. All right, let's get into baseball now because last week or this week actually, Juan Soto finally decided where he wanted to go, and as all that information started coming out, it was crazy. William, why don't you go ahead and get started because I know you have a lot to say about this.
You want me to go first? Seriously?
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Go. Let's go.
Okay, boys. I'm heartbroken. Okay, I cannot hate a player. Like it's not like they're in my heart to ever hate a player. If they leave my favorite team for money or for a championship, that's fine. Like you're a player, show yourself. But this really hurt me, man, especially because the Yankees offered $5 million less, but one more year. So It was right there. So this is all on him. It was all on him. And for some reason, we just didn't feel the love that we showed him the entire year, this past year, to stay with us for the next like 14 to 15 to 16 years. So I'm just a little bit heartbroken. Okay. What does this do? Judge needs to freaking step up in the playoffs. That's one. Okay. Because you're going to be there for the next like 5 or 10 years now. Okay. You need to step up because this past season, it was Soto that took us to the promised land. Not to win the promised land, but to the promised land. That's more than I've seen ever. Me.
And Stan.
More than I've seen ever. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Of course. So, yeah, we got to like step up now. We didn't waste that money. That's a good part of it because, I mean, that's a lot. Like 760 mil is a lot. So, yeah, we can get some of the good players now. But Gavin Davis, please, you guys. Go ahead. All yours.
Go ahead. I'll let you go, Davis, because I might rant a little bit as well.
Yeah, this man Gabe.
Yeah.
Well, full disclosure, I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm actually an O's fan. So I don't really hate the Yankees, probably because of your brother, Will, but whatever. But I mean, like when I saw the news, like when I woke up, and it was just crazy because like there's been what, maybe 4 or 5 recent within the last 40 years of players that have left the Yankees for the Mets for one, and just the fact that like that contract, and I mean it just seems like all about the money because like even like taking back when he was playing for the Nats, like they offered him something like similar in years. I think it was like a 12-year deal, probably like 400 back then.
I think it was like 440 is what the number.
Yeah, 445 for 13. Yeah.
Oh, that's what. Okay, so like of that time, like when it was, and like so he declined that, and then as you know got traded to the Padres, and then eventually they couldn't afford him type thing. So it just seems all about the money, which I mean I get it. Sure. I just don't. I don't know if his situation is going to be better with the Mets to win. Honestly, they still need pitching, in my opinion. They're still the Mets. Like, yeah, they have Alonso, like, and he was on the block. So who's to say he isn't still on the block if there isn't a good deal? So, and then like he is a professional hitter, but like I don't know like what else Soto brings to the plate. Just the fact that I think he's an okay fielder. It seems like within the next 5 years, I was telling Gabe, like they're already saying reports like he's going to just be a DH by the time he's 30. Yep. So the next decade plus, he's just going to be a DH making 50 to 60 million, which is somewhat fine. Like if you're winning, but like I don't see the Mets like being in the pennant race year after year, especially in that division that they're playing in.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I am okay with the Yankees not signing him for that contract. We have enough long-term contracts that are just stupidly expensive. I do think that the Mets way overpaid for Soto. I mean, he has subpar defense, but he is the best hitter in the league with how he controls that zone and how he consistently gets the hits that are needed, like the timely hits and everything. But to pay that much for just a bat, I don't know. I'm more or less feeling that the Yankees just dodged a bullet. Now we're able to go out and get more pieces for less or the same amount a year anyway. That would probably lead to us having greater success down the line, regardless. So, I mean, huge news, wild money. I know it's $765 with like a opt out after 5 years that the team can then void the opt out. If he tries to opt out, they can void it. Then they'll owe him more money if they void it to make the contract to over 800 million. So like there's ways to make it 800 million. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So basically, even if he wanted to leave, he's not leaving. Like if the Mets just tank the next 5 years and he tries to leave, the team would be like, nah, screw you, dude. You're staying around. And he's stuck. So it's like either he doesn't really care much about titles anymore after he won the one with the Nats, or like I'm hearing reports that
he has a ring.
Yeah, like I was seeing reports that one of his deal breakers was that the Yankees would not just give him a suite for him and his family.
That was something else I said,
but the Mets would. And the Yankees were like, well, we make Jeter and Judge pay for theirs, so why would we give you one for free? Like, that's not like those two guys are literal captains of the team. Why would we give you
Legends.
something that we don't give them? So like I'm actually like I respect the Yankees kind of standing on that ground and not bending all the way over for this guy.
Yeah,
so I mean,
but you said like
fair
sign a
game.
blank check. You said that.
No, you're right, but
You said
but I
sign a
can't-
blank check, bring him back no matter
You're-
what.
You're right. Until I actually sat down and thought about it more recently, I was like, yeah, that number is a little too fucking ridiculous.
No,
because
true,
one thing
true,
that
yeah.
I was
True.
ignoring during the regular season was his defense.
Defense.
And his defense is not that great. Like, I wasn't an outfielder, and I feel like I played outfield as good as he does. Like, I was a first baseman my whole life, and I did some spots in the outfield when I needed to fill in, and I feel like I play at the same level Juan Soto does in the outfield. Like, it's not the best. Not for that kind of money. I wouldn't be paying that for that defense. Like, if he had the defense to go with the bat, then yeah, give him $1 billion. I don't care. I think the Mets overpaid.
And I think
65.
Yeah, and I think Gabe said that, Ed said that, you said that, because we were just really disappointed that the Yankees had just lost Game 6 of the World Series and lost the World Series. I think we were just kind of talking out very emotionally. I do want to bring up a point. I do want to bring up a point that the Mets just sold 2 of their minor league teams within the last day. It could be to cover this cost, or it could be for something else, but they sold 2 of their minor league teams to a holding company, which, again, but to our points, I mean, the Mets weren't one batter away from the World Series, and they lost a lot of pitching this offseason, right? And now they got to retool all that, the starting lineup, the starting pitching, the bullpen. And, do they have the money to do that now, right? That's the biggest question.
Cohen talks like he has bottomless money, and
he probably does.
I mean,
everybody signed Burns.
At the end of the day, he has to stay smart with what he's doing, because he can't spend so much that he bankrupts the team. So I think him getting Soto was like a huge deal to him personally, to kind of like show the other GMs, like, look at what I'm willing to spend, and I'm a legit owner, like it's like I'm here on the stage, like pay attention to me type of deal, like take me seriously. And so I think this was more of basically like a big dick contest for him than anything else. Yeah. Considering he's like, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees might have started offering stuff to drive up Cohen's costs, more or less to kind of fuck with him. So,
yeah, and also the other thing we want to keep in, Davis kind of fell off a little bit. We'll bring him back on as soon as he logs back in. But none of this money is deferred, right? So Bobby Bonilla is going to receive his last paycheck before Soto does, which is kind of amazing, because Bobby Bonilla has been receiving $1 million from the Mets for the last 20 odd years. So no deferment on that. That's something that the Dodgers been doing, right? They've been deferring a lot of their payments to later stuff. So
I think the total has been $1 billion deferred by the Dodgers so far.
Yeah,
I think that's what, because after signing Blake Snell, I think that's what drove that number up to. I don't know if it's quite exactly $1 billion, but pretty damn close. That's ridiculous. Some people are calling for some rule changes to like prevent this from being a thing, because it's like, if your team's strapped for cash right now, you can bank on these big players bringing in a bunch of money, defer the payments, rake in the cash on the front end, and then pay them out. Hopefully you kind of keep making that same money down the road.
And I think they can, right? I think they can. I mean, they're bringing all these big names. They're winning the World Series. It's definitely a good business model.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers have the money already to be able to do that, but I think it could lead to, because like they can defer these big contracts and then go and sign also other big contracts and then not defer them. And it could cause a problem with building super teams and making things super one-sided, and so a lot of people are calling for them for there to be some sort of like rules made
Yeah.
after seeing this,
Yeah.
where it's like a limit to how much you can defer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens around the league down the future or down the line. But yeah, I mean, to not have Soto's contract deferred at all for that money, I think it's also another like, a big thing for Cohen to prove to the league. Like, listen, I don't need, like, I have the money on hand. I don't need to defer it. It's I really think a lot of this was just like an ego thing for Cohen himself.
Yeah.
Because he's been talking like he's this big money spender for so long, and that he's going to be bringing titles and all this stuff to the Mets over and over, and they've choked since he's gotten there. So it's like it feels to me that he's trying desperately to kind of like prove himself that, like, look, I'm a serious owner. I spend all this money. I'm rich as fuck. I can do all this stuff. And it's like, I don't think Soto's going to win them a title. Their pitching is weak. They no longer have a first baseman, so they got to figure that out because P. Alonso is a free agent, and I don't think he's coming back to the Mets.
He may just jump cross city and join the Yankees.
We can talk about that later, but I hope not. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, what moves have the Yankees done since Juan Soto signed with the Mets?
Let's see. They've only done 2 moves so far. Oh, I guess 3 because that trade that happened earlier today. Which is on this list. But they've signed Max Fried, and then they signed Johnny Loizaga to a 1-year contract with I don't know if it's an opt-in for 26, or I'm guessing it's an opt-in for 26. Bring it back for 2 years. But that Max Fried contract for 8 years, pretty great. I'm happy with that. I really like Max Fried. He's been a very good pitcher his entire career. I don't remember what that. Let me see if I can find what that.
So is Max Fried? You would say an ace also that could go along with Cole?
I think
he could be an ace. He could be an ace.
Yeah, they might put him as the second starter or as the third starter. So either he'll split Cole and Rodon, or he'll be after Rodon.
He was an ace for the Braves.
Yeah, he was one of their aces. Now, the one thing I've heard is that he doesn't do good as the number 1 ace, but if you have him as like the second or third ace the team has, that he'll do phenomenal.
So, do you think that was a good contract that he signed? Is it Yankee friendly, or is it Max Fried friendly?
It's more like Max Fried.
I mean, he's definitely getting paid very well. I think he will be worth it in the end, as long as he stays healthy. To have a left-handed pitcher that's at that level, I mean, it's basically him and Snell. And I don't know, Snell's kind of streaky for me, but also he did have like no spring training at all last year. So to get Max he's now the highest paid left-handed pitcher in MLB history. So I think generally it's going to be a good contract. Obviously time will tell. He is only 30, so the 8-year contract puts him at 38, right at the end of his basically career is what you expect, which is great. At least you don't have him when he's like 40, 41. Like I think that's what the poll is. Like we're gonna have him to like 41 or so. I think. I don't really remember. Don't quote me too much on that. But so I don't hate the contract. I don't know details about opt-ins, and I don't think there's any opt-out at all. But it seems like he wanted to be a Yankee for a while. It's like social media posts here and there. Like he was posting a lot about Derek Jeter for his final season and stuff. Like
he was. Yep.
Seems like he wanted to be a Yankee. So I think that'll be great for both player and team. So I'm excited. One potential lineup or rotation I was seeing is going to be Cole, Fried, Rodon, Heel, and then Schmidt. And I like that. I really like that rotation a lot. So now
William,
I think bolster the bullpen.
Yeah. William, you have anything you want to add about Mike's?
Yeah, like all great points by Gabe. Just that he got hurt 2 years ago, right? He had a great first start. He was 8-1 before he got hurt. Then this past year, he had a decent year. Not a great year, but definitely not a bad year. He did a decent year. So if anything, I'm a little bit worried about that. Just a tiny bit. But he's 31 or 30. So it's going to be a long contract, 30 mil. Yeah, he's a good pitcher. So Yeah, for the first couple of years, it'll be good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely seemed to struggle more with the Braves when they relied on him as their number one.
Yes, as a number one. Okay, yeah, good
So
point.
I think him not being number one in New York is going to really, like, it seems like that much pressure is what kind of gets to him. Take a little bit of a load off of his shoulders. You got Rodon and you got Cole on either side of you, or both in front of you,
Could
depending on how
grow,
they do it.
obviously.
And you got Heel as well, come up behind you. You got Schmidt as well, who can do a pretty good job himself. You know, it's like, I think we'll see a very, very good Max Fried in New York.
Yeah, and Davis, you're not a Yankee fan, but chime in. Let us know. You know, what do you think about this signing? And then, you know, once we talk about this, we're going to talk about other signings, you know, throughout Major League Baseball. But what do you think about this one?
I mean, like you said before, I think it's more Max Fried friendly. I would say I am married to a Braves fan, so she's not too pleased about that signing. But I mean, like everyone said, like I mean, he is a good pitcher. Like it helps that he's not spotlight as being your day one ace, your day one starter. So that does help him. He's a little bit injury prone, but really at the end of the day, like as long as he's ready to go, like for the postseason, especially like even like for maybe not 3 days rest, but like a 4 days rest, like he should be good to go. Especially if need be, if it's like one of those elimination games type thing, or even if you need to pitch him in like in relief, he's able to do that if for some reason if Cole isn't like he doesn't have his placement in the postseason. So I felt like you might not see like the stats and success like during the regular season, but like you'll see it in the postseason, especially since like he's a really good defenseman, and that's really where he made his calling against the Astros when the Braves won their World Series.
And so before we jump into the rest of the league, obviously because we're Yankee fans, what other signings are you expecting the Yankees to do, you know, as a plan B for losing out on Juan Soto's sweepstakes?
Probably Anthony Santander would probably be their next go-to guy, since I mean he's basically like a poor man's Soto. Like he hits for power.
Yeah.
Yes, he strikes out a lot, but he also gets on base a lot via walks. And I mean he's essentially a DH. He doesn't really do much in the outfield anyways.
True.
So he hit a lot for power with the O's as well. So the O's don't really want to pay, especially like with Burns as well. So I think Santander is realistic for the Yankees.
All right, William, you've been quiet.
Yeah, true. Like Santander could be an option. Christian Walker is obviously the best choice. Like Bregman is still there. We can talk about it, Gabe, if you want.
Yeah.
There's also like Kim that we could sign for second base. I'll still put like Jazz at third, right? He's a good like defensive second baseman, like decent hitting. But we'll talk about it as well. That's really it. I'm not like too much into this like free agency. I just kind of like watch, like see how stuff unfolds. So like Gabe, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, Santander would be a good option for outfield potentially.
Like backup option.
I'm not 100% sold myself on Santander. Just I don't know. I have like a weird feeling like I don't think it would work out for us. I do think Christian Walker would be a great first base player to sign as a free agent. He's 33. You can get him on like a 2 or 3 year contract.
Yep.
That's short and sweet. He won't demand a lot of money like Pete Alonso would. That's why I don't want Alonso. He would demand too much money and take away our options from other places. Bregman's kind of the same boat as that in my eyes, the money part. You know, I don't know if he would. I don't know how the Yankee fans would react to an Astro like Bregman. Like we let
I've been
Cole,
saying this. Okay.
yeah, but like the New York accepted Cole because he was a pitcher, so they realized like he wasn't part of the whole cheating scandal. It was, you know, for the hitters only. Well, if you go get one of the guys who's one of the hitters, what's the reaction going to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be one of those things where like he would have to really kind of pop off to shut up the fans and be like, listen, guys, like what happened. I'm here now. God, who was the other name? Cody Bellinger, I think might be a good
trade. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be a good trade for us to go get. I think even Profar is available.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, left fielder.
he could be a potential decent pickup. I don't know how his spray chart looks for his hitting, so I don't know if it would lend itself to Yankee Stadium. I don't know if he pulls to the left or if he sends everything to the right. But he could be a potential. I mean, we do have the Martian coming up, and we'll probably end up putting him in center field. We're gonna put Judge back in right where he plays better outfield. So the only hole be left field, and it's like you can get Profar, you can get Bellinger. Who's the other outfielder? I just was looking at the name, but we have to figure out the left field. Second base, I think we moved Jazz over. Jazz played second base mostly. Like he never played third before he came to the Yankees.
And he played really well.
Yeah. He's such a natural athlete that he made it look really good, but there were some things that he definitely did not. He showed that he wasn't a third baseman. Right. It's kind of like one of those where he's shown himself to be a competent second baseman and a really good second baseman. So I think we move him to second. We have the option to also have him go to outfield. So I think we need to get a third baseman. We need to get a first baseman. And I think we need to get an outfielder and then focus on the bullpen after that. So that's kind of my thought process. I don't know what other third baseman might be out there other than Bregman. I'm trying to look through a list right now. Breg. I'm not seeing any other. I'm not seeing any other free agent third base except for Yohan Moncada, I guess, actually from the White Sox.
Well, I did see today that the Cardinals are trying to trade Arenado.
Thank you.
I heard that the Yankees have been contacted about him, and I think might have some interest in him. So he'd be really good in the hot corner. I think his bat was kind of quiet last season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, he's dipped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's also, how old is he? I forget how old he is.
33, I think.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Or 34. 33.
He's 33. 33. So he might be a good option as well. It depends on what the trade demand would be to get him.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what it ended up coming down to. I know we had that trade with the Red Sox earlier for our one prospect catcher. I have no idea who it was that we got in return. I was trying to look, and I wasn't seeing it. My phone got rid of the notification, but I thought we got some dudes like a 3-part, like a name with like a hyphen in it.
So yeah.
Something, I don't know who he is, but so obviously we're willing to deal some of our prospects, which is good. We have so much talent in the farm system that we just aren't using, which I think is dumb. That's another thing that we have to remember. We have DJ LeMahieu still. He can technically play first base. I really don't want to see him.
14 million.
I don't want to see him put on the jersey ever again. I'm sorry. He's just
14
he did really
million.
good for us for like 2 years when he first came over, and then it's just completely shit the bed. And so, I still think we should go get Christian Walker. Avoid Pete Alonso. That'd also be weird to like take Pete Alonso after them from the Mets. Like, oh, you just took our best guy, so we're gonna take your best guy. That's like weird. So I think we should stay away from Alonso for multiple reasons. So that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. I don't know what other trades there could possibly be for a first baseman. There's a lot of free agent first baseman, but they're all old and none of them really kind of jump out at me like Walker would. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at with all that.
So other than the Juan Soto signing, what other free agent signing or even trade surprised you the most?
Snell to the Dodgers didn't surprise me. Adames to the Giants makes sense. He's good. They need a young shortstop after losing what was his name? I can see his face right now. I'm just blanking on his name. Oh, that's embarrassing. Anyway, they needed a guy there. They could give him some good money for it. I'm surprised Flaherty hasn't been signed yet. He's still a free agent.
Burns still there.
Burns is still, yeah, but I'm sure it's because he's just having a lot of meetings and stuff, and he's highly sought after, so he has time on his side. He can take his time. Another name, Shane Bieber coming back to the Guardians for 1 year. I was actually I forgot he was even a free agent. That would have been a good pickup for the Yankees too. Shane Bieber is pretty good. But I was kind of not surprised, but like happy to see him go back to the Guardians. I think he did pretty well there, or does pretty well there with that system. So, but other than that, you know what? The one that actually did surprise me, I'm just seeing his name here and it reminded me, Severino to Oakland to become the highest paid pitcher in Oakland history.
Yes.
Absolutely wild. He's going to hate life in that minor league stadium in Sacramento. He is going to be so miserable. I feel
he's going to get paid.
I really do. He's going to get paid, but oh my God.
Yeah.
For the talent that he is, he should not be with the A's.
Yeah. Davis, what jumped out at you during this early free agency?
I would say like the fact that it happened today that the Red Sox traded for Crockett. So
that's right. Yeah.
It is kind of seemed like they're trying to make moves, but I don't know. It's just weird. Like their management has just been weird ever since like they traded Mookie. They don't really seem like all in or like trying to win. The fact that they let Xander go last year or the year before, and so it seems like I don't know. It just seems fishy. Like they're talking to Burns now. Like they were in the Soto sweepstakes, kind of. Like they were, I guess, flirting, if you will. I don't know if they even.
I think they got up to like 700 million. So like they're kind of showing like, hey, we have this money to spend to their fans at least,
Right. It's like it just seems abnormal for like what their trends have been the last couple of years.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They're about to get Burns though. Honestly, they're about to get Burns. Washington. They're about to get Burns.
Wouldn't surprise me. I think they are the favorite currently to land Burns. So that's kind of what I would expect.
Yeah, William. So what trade or what free agency signing surprised you the most?
They said it all. Honestly, the two like good ones. Just like good signings so far. There's still obviously Corbin Burns left. There's still Pete Alonso left. There's a lot more left, but the biggest one left is probably Sasaki. Still, his contract thing is when in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Start to talk to him. I think.
I don't remember. I think it's 2 weeks. I want to say
late December. It was
yeah.
So it should be soon, boys. It should be soon.
Yep.
The Yankees like traded for cash like for international cash.
Yeah, international cash.
That shows me they're going to try and make a move for Sasaki.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I honestly I don't know enough. Yeah, I don't know enough about him to know.
Yeah, if he wants to join his friends or not, honestly.
Yeah, it also like I don't know how aggressive
countrymen at least,
So, but
yeah. So didn't the Dodgers sign someone early on that we were?
Snow. Yeah, Blake Snow.
Yeah, Blake Snow. It was a good contract, honestly. 30 mil.
Yeah,
and some of it is deferred.
Probably.
I was saying that's what brought the total deferred money to like almost $1 billion. Speaking more on the Dodgers, one of the ties to Yankees now. Apparently, there's one of the first reports coming out like the beginning of the offseason. So there was mutual interest between Walker Buehler and the Yankees.
Yes,
get together. I haven't heard anything about that since then. I don't know
I haven't either. Yeah,
opportunity. I mean, he'd be good out the bullpen, honestly, if we stuck him in there. I'm surprised that the Dodgers haven't tried to re-sign Flaherty already and lock him in. Like the fact that he's still a free agent is pretty surprising to me. I'd like to see
probably banking on Sasaki.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to be waiting on. So lots and lots of moves to happen. I think GM winter meetings started this week, so everything's still very much the beginning. There's still a lot to go, so lots of interesting news to come still.
All right. Yeah, I mean, so I think we touched on every point that we wanted to touch on, which was, Yankees plan B. We talked about, the free agents that are still out there that, where they could potentially go. So it's going to be an interesting winter, with spring break. I mean, with spring season starting, what is it, late March?
When does spring training start? I think it's
around the 20th or so.
Right?
Yeah.
Early March, is it not?
Googling.
I would guess like March.
It
5.
should be around there. Yeah.
The Grapefruit
on.
League.
I'll do it.
You got Cactus and Grapefruit League. Every link I'm
first
clicking
game-
to
The
different.
first game, February like 20th.
There you go.
Wow. So it is early.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's like a month.
Okay, so I mean, a
And-
lot of things are going to happen from here till February, and it's going to be interesting to see where all these dominoes fall. Hopefully, the Yankees can pick up the players that they need to, not only get back to the World Series but actually win it. Davis, really quick, you said your favorite team was what again?
O's. I'm an O's fan.
O's fan. Okay.
Yeah.
What do the O's need? Because they're they played really well all the way till the end of the season. I think the last 2 to 3 weeks is when they kind of started faltering and kind of lost to the Yankees, a lot of ground to the Yankees at that point. But what do the O's need, and do you see them picking up any players that can potentially help them get over the hump?
I mean, it'd be nice to re-sign Burns, but they're not talking to him, so there goes.
Oh, they're not even talking to him.
Nope.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I mean, he's linked to practically not every, but like yes, the Red Sox and like even the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays randomly talk to everyone, which is annoying.
Blue Jays talk to everyone. Yeah.
They just cast a large net and hope something gets stuck.
Yeah.
No one wants to go play in Toronto, though.
Yeah, they talk to every pretty girl at the bar. That's all
they do. They do.
But outside of pitching, I mean, it'd be nice to have Santander back or someone of that magnitude, like to play DH. But I feel like the offense is fine. I mean, I know like the second straight year, bats were cold in the playoffs, but Adley's fine, Gunner's fine. Like, I don't think there's really any issues with that. It's just like to help with the bullpen, an ace or two would be nice, but this is the owner. Like, he's supposed to be spending more. Like, hence, like, why the trade for Burns? It was kind of alarming that he didn't offer him a deal like after the trade around this time last year. So I guess we'll just see.
All right, awesome. Anybody wants to add anything before we close this episode down?
No, I think we kind of covered all the bases. Baseball joke off. Funny.
Around the bases.
Around the bases. Yeah, I mean, I think we covered.
All right,
everything there is to cover so far. So
so we want to thank Gabe for joining us and Davis again, and hoping that this winter our teams can load up and be ready for this upcoming season. Hey guys, don't forget to follow us and put your notifications so you see our podcast coming up. Again, I'm Will Sr.
Will Jr.
Yep, and for Gabe and Davis, we say we are out of here. Good night.
see ya.